Hi ladies, it's Karen. I'm back to share with you a project that I've just completed, and it is a lovely cloth bag, and inside I have made what I'm calling a ladies journal, and I'll talk to you more about the journal once I open up the bag. I'll start with the bag. The bag is a table runner that I altered. I had to make it smaller, so it's just a fold over bag, but I took off and reattached this piece on the end here to make the front of the bag. And then I took some of these butterflies that a lot of us have, and I coffee stained them, so they made them look more antique-y looking, like the finish on the threads of the bag. And then I stitched with gold, some gold beads, some bugle beads and round beads, and some faceted little bicone beads, and a crystal here for this one's head, and just prettied them up, and then sewed them onto the bag as well. And I've even sewn down the little antennae so they don't catch on anything. And the back of the bag I just left plain. It's got this lovely edging on it. It's really pretty. Inside I just cut this off of an area of the bag I didn't use, because I didn't use the full length of the runner to make the bag, and reattached it here on the opening. And then inside is a really pretty journal that I made, and as I was making it I was just thinking I wanted to make a journal that was mostly for writing, so it doesn't have tags in it. It has tuck spots for putting little keepsake things, and it has a lot of lace and a lot of journaling space. So this is some cardstock paper that I have actually lined with a linen fabric on the inside. I have just frayed the edges, and I have it's a one signature journal. I think it's 40 pages. Tied the strings for the outside of the journal rather than the middle this time, and I've added gold bugle beads and pink seed beads onto that. And it's a heavy thread that I've used, and I've tied it and added a glue to the bottom of the knot, so they're very strong. It isn't going anywhere. It has a lace edging on the binding. It has a pretty lace and crocheted closure with a pink button. And what I did was I created handmade a buttonhole, one on each end actually. So there's a buttonhole that attaches the lace here, and then it wraps around twice, and then there's a bit of a buttonhole that I handmade at the end here that closes it. And there's still some room in the length of this so that there's room when you tuck things inside. So let's have a peek inside of her. So this inside page is the linen that wraps around the edge and then is frayed here on the front. And then I've cut out some appliques out of lace, and I have attached those into the corner here. I added some nice crocheted lace around the edge. I've made a lace pocket in the front here and added some applique flowers on the front of that as well. So there's a nice spot. You could tuck some extra things or your pen or whatever in there. First page is a coffee stained or tea stained. I think this is tea stained doily. And I've just added some fussy cut little images on there. And a piece of crocheted lace, and then I've attached a journaling card on here, which I've done some hand stitching around the edge. There's the back side of it, so lots of journaling space. Even the papers that are in here would be easy to write on top of. There'd be no problem at all. I chose papers that would be easy especially if you use a black pen to journal on top of them. This one has a hummingbird that is first been glued onto a piece of book page, and then I've applied it onto the back of this page. So some of the pages have embellishment on them, so there's still room to write, but also there's something pretty to look at. This page is one of, I think I've shown them to you in my other journals, but I can't remember, so if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. This is a coffee dyed piece of paper that I've also used a vintage photo and a stencil, and I've stenciled on it as well. So it's pretty, but it's very easy to write on. And on this side of the page is just plain coffee staining and a little bit of an embellishment that I've put on here with some appliques. And this is a little journaling card that has been attached in here on a little piece of paper. So it's an attachment, probably something on the other side. And there's journaling room there. And one of my handmade little stamps in the corner. This one is again coffee stained, and then I used a stencil and I stenciled some butterflies, and this butterfly, you can just see part of it on there. And I've added a few little dangles. This one is some little pink beads and a little bit of acrylic flowers with some rhinestone in it. Just a little something. It doesn't in any way affect you writing on the pages, but just adds a little bit of embellishment, and of course a little bit of lace on that page. This one coffee stained, a little bit of washi tape that pulls in the colors from the next page. This is a piece of sari silk with beautiful gold thread embroidery on it and a little mirror in there. And I've just put that in there so that it would be a flip. So some of your journaling under here wouldn't show. But again, lots of journaling space. This side, a little bit of washi tape, a little bit of appliques, another one of my stamped papers that I've done. This side has a little tuck spot where you could tuck anything you wanted, and a little bit of applique. And in some of the tuck spots I have made some handmade, what I call my handmade writing paper. And what I do is just take a piece of plain white paper, I line it with pencil so it's very light, and in some places it's even broken. And then I've used my gelatos and I've done a bit of a painting around the edge of the page and added in some stamping, and this is a flower from a napkin. So it just again gives a nice piece of writing paper to write on. You could tuck it back in your journal, or you could actually write on that and send it to someone, and you'd still have this writing room here plus more to tuck things in. This is a tuck spot as well on the edge of the lace here, and lots of writing room. And again on this side. Most of the pages lay quite flat as well, but there is some that are bumpy, and I have included a writing board in here as well. So this is another tuck spot that I've made. These are these lovely snippet, double snippet tucks that you can make. I will attach the video that Charlotte Peterson did, but they're really easy to make and really fun. And this just uses a piece of paper. I use scrapbook paper, so it's a little heavier. You fold it so that it slides over the page, and you get a tuck spot on each side of your page, and then you just use snippets to cover it with. And so it makes a really nice tuck spot, really pretty, and adds some interest to the edge of the page too. And this is another one of my handmade papers. Same idea. I've used a napkin and some stamping, and I have the metallic gelatos, so I just kind of paint with them with a bit of water, and it makes for a pretty edge on the paper. This one, lots of snippets. This one has a little tail on this little butterfly here that has a little button on his back with a bow. There's some beads here with a little heart and some pink and sparkly beads. And this was an embellishment that was on a piece of netting that I fussy cut out, and a little bit of lace and some fabric on that one. And then this side is fabric I had with embroidery on it, piece of lace, another piece of lace, and this one I put a little butterfly on made out of some metal and added some little pearl antennae on that one, and another piece of my handmade paper. Another page with a bit of stenciling on there, and that's a bigger butterfly on the coffee stained page. This just has a little snippet in the corner, and I just did a little gold angel with gold and pink beads around it. And this is a little bag that I've incorporated and put some napkin on. This is on I think it's on some sort of paper first and then fussy cut out and then applied to the edge of the bag. And this bag is where I have put the writing board, but you could take that out and leave it anywhere you wanted in the book, and then you could have this bag to put whatever you wanted in it. This is a nice bag, it has that bit of crunchy texture to it. Here's the writing board. This side I have put a little bit of napkin on, and this side I got music paper, so it's really easy and soft to write on. And so you could insert that anywhere you wanted to give you a firmer surface to write on. Here's the back side of that bag. I just covered it with some scrapbook paper and a bit of an embellishment that I cut out of some fabric, a flower. Another one of my coffee stained papers. This one you can see when I put it in the oven, the rack was warm, and so it made the marks on it from the rack. And then I also stenciled the butterfly on top. Another little dangle in the corner here. This is the middle of the signature. So I did do a little bit of a spread of some tissue paper flowers that I had, and then added in some butterflies. And then there was already I chose this paper for the center, and it has the bigger butterfly on it as well that's stenciled on. This page is, I just put the lines on the plain white piece of paper. I did make a little pocket tuck here in the bottom. This is another style that I do of the writing paper. This one has some stenciling on it and a little flower cluster in the corner, and again the gelato, metallic gelatos around the edge. This writing space, also a little tuck in the top here in case you wanted to tuck something up in there. To tuck something in behind the doily here, but also you could journal on the whole page as well. This is just napkin that's been put onto this page with some added little butterflies, and the back side of another doily. There's the doily there. Again, another tuck spot, but the ability to be able to write on the whole page as well, but gives a little interest to the page and also creates a bit of secret journaling space too. Again, napkin on the edges of the page, of the coffee stain page, just to give it something pretty, but lots of room. You can see there's lots of room in here. Another napkin, some washi tape, pocket that I created with lace. Little snippet here, a little journaling card with butterflies on it, and then there's some lace and some hand stitching and a little dragonfly hanging from some seed beads. Another coffee stained page with stenciling. Another one of the snippet tucks that goes over the page, and so this one has some little fussy cut flowers out of some embroidered fabric I had, little snippets of lace, butterfly with some embellishment on it. And there's another one of the handwriting pages I've created with, I did this with pink gelato on the edge and little rose with some pink on it. And these are stickers that I got, but I fussy cut them out so they don't have all that white edging on them. So I think they look a little more upscale than with all the whiteness on the edge, and then some stamp, butterfly stamp, and a lovely long stem rose on that one. And then over the page is the other side of that snippet tuck, and this one's just empty. Again, lots of room for journaling space, and the tuck there, tuck on this side as well, so you could tuck something underneath there if you wanted to. This is just a snippet I created with some flowers and flat back pearls and a little bit of bling, and then a little dangle with a leaf and a couple of little beads. Coffee stain page, butterflies stenciled again, a little bit of washi, a little bit of lace. Another lined writing space with a little bit of napkin, a little bit of lace. This is a flip out, so something pretty to look at, but lots of space inside to write, and again, some hidden journaling space as well. Washi, a little bit of napkin, lace, lots of room to journal. And again, with all these pages, most of this is, all these little things are usually pieces of napkin. Here's the back side of the envelope, and I just put this really pretty applique on there, and there's lots of room in there to tuck things. And the back side, put another piece of applique from a fabric, a little butterfly, and there's the back page. And there I put a pocket in here, so if you wanted to, you could tuck things in there as well in the back page. So that is the lady's journal. And this just wraps around really nicely a couple of times. And then the butt slips over the button really easily. And there's, as you can see, there's room there for that to get quite a bit fatter and still wrap around and be a closure for it. So that's my latest little ladies journal, I'm calling it, and the pretty little bag that goes with it. This is also an item that is for sale if anyone's interested. I'll leave my email in the description box below, and you can send me an email and we can talk about if you'd like to purchase it. I have another beautiful project I'm working on right now for Angel Dream Crafts Kim for my second design team project for November, and so that will be coming probably later this week. It's turning out really beautiful. It's a fabric and lace book with angels in it, so something that I'm really excited working on and excited to show you. All right, talk to y'all soon. Bye for now.